What's going on, guys? Hope y'all had an awesome weekend. We're starting the fresh week tomorrow. It's everyone's favorite day. Again, you're listening to, actually for the first time, not again, but hopefully again. Tonight you are, though, for the first time, tuning in to No Noise Research with your host, Z-Rex, coming at you on August 26th. 2018. So, market's been kind of boring. Closed above that 6,600 and it's like we're stuck. It's like at a twilight zone, guys. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just go into some news and we'll talk about the markets later. Since they just want to go sideways, we can go through that fast. All right, here we go. So we just talked about this yesterday, the World Bank. It might have been the day before. Again, you can check out those videos. I do timestamp all the videos. Maybe not the first ones I did. I probably need to go back and do that, but definitely in the last couple weeks, I've been making a point to do that. I always love to have that available when I search videos. Because sometimes, you know, maybe you don't care about what the World Bank says. You can just skip over that one. And quickly with a couple clicks. So yeah, do check that out. So we just talked about it. They did the Bondy. So it's pretty much a blockchain bond. And the World Bank, through the Common Bank of Australia, which is pretty much their largest, kind of like a central bank, so to speak. They're big hoss there. So they did the first blockchain bond in the global finance sector this month. That's pretty big news, I would say. And it's on Ethereum blockchain. Go figure. Oh, we almost forgot. Almost, or I almost forgot. That was close. So World Bank, there's Australia, Ethereum. Shocker, right? I guess it is the enterprise blockchain right now. I don't know. For now. So it is using Azure as well, an Ethereum network to settle. Microsoft has confirmed Ethereum is able to securely facilitate investments into the bond with sufficient scaling. Oh, are you, Ethereum? Can you do that, Vitalik? It's going to need some unicorn magic to fix all that, right? No, I'm sure they will. Scaling just takes some time, guys. It's not a huge deal. It's like everybody just wants it like next month or something, and let's build 8,000 projects that do that. Yeah, okay. So the World Bank now, after all of this, has emphasized that it will continue to explore the capabilities and applicability of blockchain tech in the future. They're encouraged by the embracement of iBond, because after they released that, they've already had 7 institutional investors want to get down on this with them. So it's pretty, I mean, he even says, since the announcing of the mandate, the interest we've received for the Bondy, we'll just call it the Bondy. I'm just going to start calling it the Bondy. The Bondy. It's just, they could have said iBond. Would have been better. But we're going to call it the Bondy. Has been overwhelming. It's clear the market is ready and open to the uptake of emerging tech, and sees the potential evolution of the capital markets. That's pretty powerful words, especially coming from large banks like this, and the World Bank jumping on. They're no joke. So, yet more good news to stack onto the underlying tech and fundamentals, if you want to call them that. Market penetration, I would like to use better, but there you go. Pretty awesome. Zuckerberg, Mr. Mark's sister, signs on to serve on Huobi Chain Advisory Committee. Alright, so I'm not really sure what I think about this. It's kind of confusing. Why is she advising Huobi as a member of the Huobi Chain Expert Advisory Committee, which will be joined by 7 others, and is designed to serve as a think tank for digital? What the? I'm sorry, but what the hell does she know about? She's Satoshi. That's it. Oh man, just figured it out, guys. It's crazy. No, but yeah, how the hell did she? That's nuts. It's like putting, you know, most of your girlfriends on a committee, probably. It's like for chain expert. I don't think she's coded or worked really in blockchain. Maybe she has. Maybe Facebook is about to blindside us and is going to buy Coinbase and do all this crazy stuff. Who knows? I don't know. Pretty wild, though. I guess I didn't know this. There was rumors that they were going to fork the Stellar blockchain, but they refuted that and said, we're not engaged in any discussions with Stellar, and we are not considering building on their tech, a spokesperson said at the time. Doesn't really mean anything. We know in news, and especially crypto news, they will flip-flop like a mofo. All right. Oh man, thanks for the follow, CommanderRoot. I appreciate that. I'm still kind of messing with Twitch. I'm not as familiar with it, but yeah, if you look on the YouTube channel, that's where all the timestamps are going to be. I'm going to integrate all that in with Twitch and Mixer too. And then I also have the just the YouTube chat is open right now, just because it's not syncing with my OBS. I don't know why. If someone knows how to help me do that. I've watched a few videos. I don't know. Maybe I'm just special. All right. Anyway, back to some news. Again, appreciate that, CommanderRoot. Top 10 blockchain projects by GitHub commits over the past 3 months. This is pretty good. I always forgot about this website that it's mentioning. We'll just do real quick and we'll jump over to it. So, while even the most active project on GitHub could easily be worthless and go under, this data at least functions as a quick screen before conducting deeper due diligence on a potential investment. And so, this is just talking about using commitments to projects to kind of measure, more how serious they are. If there's not really any commits on it, or upgrades, and like it's not really, it's a shit coin, all right, like an extra shitty coin. So I like I said, during bear markets, try to use this before you dive too far. It's a good filter to screen. And so it's called CryptoMiso. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, my buddy told me about this years ago, and I just always keep forgetting about it. But I think I'm going to bring it up on the show like maybe once a week or something like that to let the commits build. But as you can see right now, ZRX is killing it. But like killing it, like they're killing it by 500 more than our chain, which don't know anything about them. I also don't know anything about Republic Protocol. These are two that I'm going to research, and I'll report back on that here tomorrow or maybe middle of this week. Elf, I have heard of that. So that's interesting. It's in the top. Tron's in the 5. Zoo Shield. That's a decentralized insurance. XMax is just XMax, I guess. And then if you keep going down here, you're like, where's Bitcoin? Where is Bitcoin? Oh man, I don't know. Is it even on this list? Oh, it's number 29. One thing that Bitcoin does have, though, that most other projects don't have, is there's over 100 contributors on Bitcoin. Status Network, I was looking for that, and Particle actually share that too. That's a good sign when you have lots of contributors. I think that kind of shows more decentralization in the coding aspect and the back end of it, so I think that's pretty important. If you only have like one contributor making everything, then it's probably fair to say that he owns shit most of the time, right? All right, so pretty awesome website here. If y'all don't know about it, check it out, CryptoMiso.com. That's MISO. All right, guys, let's go into markets. Here we are, sitting a little over 215 billion. Not really anything cool. It's about where we have been for the last week, kind of just floating around here. Super unexciting for everyone. I know everyone's just like sitting at the edge of their seat. I actually literally am right now. So I'm trying to be a little closer to the mic so the audio's better. But yeah, so we're still sitting here. We needed about 225. We need to get over that in total market cap, and soon. Look at this volume over here. On the bottom right of this chart, it's still going down. So I don't like that. It doesn't mean too much until the volume turns around. And whenever we get some good volume, guys, and we get a few, maybe like a week of some good volume, like back over here when it went sideways for a while, and then we saw some few days up, and then 2 big ass days. It's exactly what I'm looking for, something like that. All right. So that can also be to the downside too, though, for sure. So if it just stays flat like this and we don't get moving, then it's not going to be good either. But yeah, there we are, same kind of story there. Let's go to the general market. This is coincheckup.com. If you're not familiar with it, I prefer them over CoinMarketCap. I still do use CoinMarketCap for like the dominance graph. They don't have that. They just say the dominance up here at the top. But yeah, so that is one cool thing that CoinMarketCap has. And also they have exchange data, like volume data and like pretty detailed data on that, which is nice. Anyway, kind of flat, really. The 24-hour column here, right in the middle of the screen. Just kind of scrolling down that, except IOTA. Ooh, IOTA had a nice little pop. Let's go check out IOTA. I always like to look for coins like this when something's just showing relative strength. It's a really easy way just to kind of fan through stuff. Because really you need to find simple ways to even grab your attention when you're trading so you don't just like stay in a rut of one underlying, or if you want to trade. Of course, if you just want to buy and hold or hodl, whatever you want to call it, yeah, that works too. Just have a really long-term time frame and average too. Don't just, I hope, see, that's why I don't really like hodling, because it's really dangerous. Maybe like you should hodl with part of your portfolio, right? I don't think like this all-in hodl is just like a good idea. Because like, what if you bought everything at, you know, above 10K? It's not really a cool feeling right now. Yeah, we're getting some, no really participation in this yet on the volume is what I'm looking at right here. So it's really low, super tiny. There are some targets. We looked at this before. Some long-term targets measured off of this move, some extensions, but we are way far away from that. Look how far we are above the 21 exponential, which is this yellow one. So, and that is in dollar pair. Let's actually look at it in Bitcoin pair. Not on Bitfinex though. I guess we have to look at it on Bitfinex. Bitfinex it is. Oh, very similar chart. That doesn't always happen. So pretty much exact same deal. Kind of wait for some confirmation, but it is having nice, so showing some strength. 618 retracement of that sell-off is about 6,800 satoshis, if you wanted to know. So you're bearish below that, faux show. All right, let's see what else. Dang, Lisk. Oh my gosh, Nano just can't stop. Jeez, I was like, man, I'm gonna get some Nano, and I was like, nah, you can't FOMO, dude. Apparently, there's a lot of FOMO time for Nano. Jesus, look at that, guys. I mean, from that down day, it just has not looked back. It put in a serious hammer. It did one of those right here too, but it did it after this doji, so that's not as good of a sign. This did it after a engulfing candle and on more volume, so that makes it more of a hammer. Sometimes it's not just the shape, guys. You need volume profiles and like a couple candles before it too, to kind of create them. By themselves, they're not as powerful. But yeah, look at this guy. This even made a little tiny ascending triangle on the daily, like right here, and then already has murdered that. I mean, this thing is on fire. We are coming up on major resistance here. You can see it at this horizontal level of 53-ish hundred, 54. That is one of the longer term moving averages, and it is kind of stalled right at it. Let's see about the 3-day. And then the 55 3-day is also right there too, so there's two moving averages. Wow, and the weekly, yeah, the 21. So there is a lot of overhead resistance now in Nano. So do be aware of that. Past that though, if it does keep going, let's do a little Fibonacci extension here. Yeah, see, and we're right at the 1618. So that is, we got mad resistance pretty much at 6,000. I'm actually going to go ahead and put me an alert at just over 6K, because if it gets playing up there, then the party's not over. So, wow, and the volume, look at this. That was, I can't believe I really didn't pay attention to that one. That's kind of, I feel kind of dumb for not watching this super pump. It's all good. Can't watch them all. There's like thousands of coins. It's almost need to like Do people freelance yet for like researching crypto stuff? Might be a thing. If it's not, it should be. Anyway, some more targets after this. A 2618 is 8800 up here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw me in a horizontal up there, and then we'll see what happens. The double is about 7,000, but if it can't get above 6, you know, then yeah, that's about it. It looks like it might be able to do it though, because there is some serious volume in the candle that closed earlier today, which was only about 4 hours ago. So it's got 19, 20 hours left on it. If you are listening, please feel free to ask any questions. So that's pretty interesting. We're going to keep an eye on the Nano. I would not get long here at all. Look, you're also coming up down here. It's got to show you some super serious strength. This is likely some FOMO action. Yeah, you just have way too many things lining up here. It's like every indicator pretty much is like, ooh. So, there's Nano. What else was up here? There was something else. Icon, that's what it was. Look at that icon. Up 32%. Jesus. Yep, that is pretty classic move there. This looks like a 618 retracement on these closes. Yep, right, almost at it. 900, almost right there. Yeah, that's like this, guys. This is a really good example of where like a 618 or like a fib retracement and like how you kind of want to see it, especially on a daily, but just for a little bit. Let me take off some of the other stuff. There you go. Oh, and go to the big chart. So you can see how it gets really close, kind of dances around it. That's totally normal, and it usually goes past this. In a couple videos, I've talked about the markets, and please go watch those because they're kind of a little bit longer conversations of explaining it. But in short, it's like they know banks and liquidity and big money knows that there's a lot of business done pretty much in this circle area. And this is where they can get the most people too. They can close out a lot of shorts. They can get a lot of people to go long. I mean, they can get a lot of people to stack onto shorts or just initiate shorts. There's a lot of liquidity right here. Professional traders know this in these areas, okay? So, and especially at this 618 level, you can see it bounced right back up. And on a daily, it was perfect. 618. Then the next candle engulfed all of this plus the one before it and got into these previous ranges. And then it was, that's pretty good textbook fib moves. So way to go, Icon, killing it. All right, now let's go see what's done the worst though. Let's flip the script a little bit. Oh, and we got to filter some of this because I am not trying to, and that's really cool about Coin Checkup. You can do this. You go over here to the little filter tab, and you can, you know, I'm going to take it out to where it's at least, you know, close to $500 million market cap. I'm not trying to look at all this crap shit. So, list coin, obviously Tether doesn't count. Ethereum, some Zcash, huh? Zcash is a $1.35 dash. It's down there. Let's look at Zcash. I haven't looked at Zcash in a long time. Zoom out a little bit here. Let's go on a 3-day. Oof, yeah, see guys, there's that rounding formation. They just never look nice. You got it right here. All the way over. Now that is a big ass one. Hopefully that doesn't accelerate. And it gets find some support. Yeah, it's a pretty ugly chart on the dollar. Let's look at it on, oops. Let's look at it on the Bitcoin. Oh, and definitely not on Binance. That's not going to give you any information. All right, so on a Bitcoin pair, which is probably a better way to look at Zcash, it looks a lot better. We're kind of at this low range here. Y'all can see, bam, all around up in there. So that's some good support for the Zcash, yeah. All right, let's go to the Bitcoin. Let's go to Mama Bear. Let's see what she's doing. Oh, it's is that? Oh, wow. I didn't think it was going to be above 700, 6,700. I was kind of like, guess I'm just so used to not doing anything. Jeez. Look at my emotions and stuff trying to project. It's bad. We do have some pretty hard resistance right here. See these little blue dots? That is a triple exponential moving average. They are pretty nifty. I suggest you play around with them because they behave very different than other moving averages. But they're fun. They're really good for this kind of stuff, like finding the support and resistances. Let me show you some more examples. Like right here, it started breaking down, and you can see the blue dots are above it, and it finally stabilized. And then this became support. And then when it lost it, you know, clearly lost it pretty hard. In this candle, that was just brutal. Nothing really you can do to defend against that. Not be in the trade, I guess. But you can see how, again, it stables right where blue is, and it takes off, and then right gets below it. And then it's a really cool metric. Like I said, just check it out. Peep it. See what you think. So this is pretty good. This looks all right. Let's go to the daily before we get too far. I'm not a huge fan of that candle. Whoops. Oh my goodness. That's not what I meant to do. Sorry. There we go. I'm not a big fan of this candle right here. It's not looking great. We cannot break now. Oof, man, since it kind of got bought up right here, that is the only good thing about it, and it did stay in this range. Geez, here we go. Are we going to go into a tighter range? Kind of looks like it. Let me adjust this box. This is cool, too, on TradingView if you don't know. If you don't want to see, like, a certain drawing you made on lower time frames, because sometimes, especially if you use log chart, the line will look different or whatever. So you can go in here and check off all the other ones you don't, and you can even put them in ranges as well. So you only can maybe see it on the 1 hour to 4 hour, bam, whatever. I'm going to take it off on hourly period. Because I really only need to see that on the daily. See? Give you better context there. Alright. So, we are just, gosh, it's like the same thing. It's like nothing happened since yesterday when we talked. At least we're going sideways and above. These exponentials and all the oscillators are pretty much the same. Right, like BTC definitely needs to start. Let's see on the hour if we got anything. Oh, bulls are trying. If we can get the bulls to come back up over... Alright, this is the ADX DMI with the ADX turned off. I don't use the ADX. And then these horizontals are just lines that I put on there. I've studied this indicator a lot. If we can get the hourly to stay up around the above 25 even just for a little bit, it'll signal that we got some bull strength coming in. And then ultimately on the 4 hour, since we already are kind of above it, as long as it just stabilizes, that's all I'm saying. On the 1, if you see it cross over, that means it will obviously carry over to the 4, but this is where you're going to see it first. Maybe something like this back here, where it came back over the bulls, or over the bears, sorry, which are obviously the red line. Although not obviously, because I do know my friends way across the oceans, or the ocean, they use red for up, so, you know, that's all good. And people make their own. I've seen blue used a lot. That works good. I like the white and the green, especially since I use a dark background. But, yeah, I do like the blue on like a lighter background, though. That does look nice. Alright, so we do need to see them pick up those. You can see there is divergences, but there's not really higher prices. There's just divergences isn't the right term, I'm sorry. There's momentum is slowing, which isn't necessarily bad, but we better get this party started. And let's go to the daily to kind of give us a time frame for that. So maybe between here and here we got about a month before we need before some really big moves happen. And yeah, this was a pretty big one, but relative to the action right here, we're in a little tighter of a coil, except for like these 2 days where we did these like symmetrical hammer star right after each other. That's wild. I don't know if I've seen that very many times, if maybe ever, especially so close like that. Anyway, I'm all like, oh god, look at the chart porn. It's so sexy, man. But this is a constructive chart still. We're above the 21 EMA. If you want to be real conservative, that is your first sign of weakness when price crosses it, which is about 66.25. All right, and you can see this daily literally, you know, shook to the low mid 500s, and we talked about that while it happened, because 66 just is too obvious. So everybody puts their stop at 66, right? Like thinking they're genius and they don't have any risk now. But again, if we're going back to the upside and there's lots of support that's built up here now, liquidity and big money knows that this is a weak area psychologically, so they can go in there, get you to close all your shorts, and then get everybody to get short too and stack. And then it just works really good when you're making the market and doing the business on the back end. That's your like heaven spot, right? And that spot happens all the time, all over, because this is dynamic and changes as every minute goes by, especially in the Bitcoin. So yeah, especially if y'all remember, I believe that most of this happened in a minute or 5 minutes or something. It was fast. I thought my phone was broke or something when I saw it. So Bitcoin still looking okay and trending slightly upward. The oscillator's almost just like they were yesterday. I'm glad to see, though, after a little bit of selling, now we're getting some buyers come up. Now let's go ahead and see these buyers push it past 78 on some volume, because look at this volume. It is abysmal. Let me make it a little bigger so you can see. There you go. Look at that. There's nothing going on, guys. And there really hasn't been since for like 4 days now of just booty volume. So the most volume though that was done, notably, that's barely sticking out, I can barely see it right here, out of the average cloud on the volume, which is this gray part. Because if it's not really above average or maintaining or keeping above, then it's not. It becomes less relevant, the move. It's easy way for me to identify that. Anyway, but most of the volume here happened on this candle, so that's good. This candle locked in some good support. Let's go ahead and draw that box right now then. So bam. And we'll put it down to about those. I'm not going to make it green, though. We're going to make it like a yellow. It's like a caution. All right. Yeah, because if we get out of here and we can't do it this time, all right, then we're definitely going to go down. We have been doing this too damn long. This is for Bitcoin. I mean, over 2 weeks now we're kind of doing this. Yeah, this is just coiling up for a gnarly ass move, for sure. Do be wary of these happening though. Again, those shakeouts, they like to occur. See where all that business is done. Do business, do business, do business. Oh, get orders filled, get it going. Bam, run it up. Same thing here, and then do it to the other side. Because you know a lot of people were gonna be looking at this area, looking back at the chart before all this happened. If you're like, where is it? It's right about here now. Oh yeah, look at all that business done right here. Lots of liquidity there. All right, let's go to ETH, the Ethereum unicorn coin. Hanging out, still in the same box. Nothing special. Lower volume, although it has increased from the other day. But today, you know, still has 20 hours, so we'll see. I'd like to see the momentum get started actually today. This seems like a good day for that. Monday, Tuesday this week. Let's get it going. That would be, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go to 4 hour. Yeah, we're getting some nice green volume popping up over average here. Let me make my ADI or DMI bigger. I can't see it. Still neutral, neutral, super neutral. Volatility has been virtually sucked out, though. If you look at this top indicator, that's what this is measuring, is volatility. Yeah, that is... There's nothing. It's like definitely a calm before the storm type look in a chart, if I've ever seen one. Even with this price action happening, which is decent moves. Look how silent the oscillators have been across the board. RSI, this, and vol. Only one little tiny little spook, and then it got bought up real hard right here after it tried again. So let's see what happens. There's not really much else to say about Ethereum, except that it's popping pretty good here in the last hour. It's up. It has been so damn boring, though. Ethereum is snorefest, guys. It won't be soon, trust me. We'll be like, holy shit, that was crazy. And you'll be like, I got liquidated, or I just made 5x, or you know, whatever. There'll be all those kinds of things. All right, so here's a little profit thing we drew the other day. And so just to kind of show how this works, just to give you a visual, you can see how far you're in the profit. It like makes it a little lighter green than up here. And this is like your risk zone. And as you can see, let me go to the daily. Get a little easier to show you. So yeah, they're saying this is where you could kind of, it wouldn't be a bad risk to reward spot. And you just kind of like stop out here, and like I've said, I always want at least 2 to 1. I like to look for 3 to 1. So on this, just because you have good support, it's bounced off of it numerous times. You can kind of do that. Or you can even get, you know, a little more risky, just depending on what your tolerance is. Adjust there. Just make sure you kind of do that and just wait for time to go by, and whichever one of those happens first, boom, do it. That's it. So on visibility, I'm going to turn this off on the lower time frame so we don't have to see it on the 4 hour. Oh yeah, here we go. I like this. All right, Litecoin has been trying to show us some strength. And we talked about that when the DMI was not getting excessive and actually overall shrinking, because it went back and tested its the mid-20 zone, which is where it needs to break. So that's like the support zone, and then did a weaker bounce after a bigger, flashier sell-off than before, than where this high was. And so that is slowing down, and you can also see it on this oscillator, the RSI. It's kind of flat, 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 and then much higher here, much lower. So it was definitely showing that. You could also see it on volatility. Way more people were scared up here, where you can see this pink colored. That's where volatility is ramping up. It starts coloring it pink. You need to kind of worry. And then once it like fades out a little bit, it's not as crazy. But anyway, you know, as you can see, that it was showing lots of divergences too. So you had divergences on like everything, plus this trend line. And now we've been just going sideways, boring as well. We are getting over the 21 and 55, which they are stacked on each other. Guys, this market is getting ready to do something crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a swift move up to the upside. That would make a lot of sense right now for how the charts are built. Even if we are going to test new lows this year, I still think it would go up before making new lows. That's just my opinion. You know, what the hell do I know? Let's see. Most of my... let's go to XRP. Most of my strategies that I use, they're not on here. They're not... they're like coded in a different thing, but the signals that I have right now are pretty much long. They're long on Bitcoin right now. So... I will show a chart of that where the signals are someday, but it will not be today. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not helpful. Thanks, Bitrex. I thought I clicked on Bitfinex, but I did not. There it is. All right. Jesus. You probably never think Ripple could stay inside of a... What is this? A 3% range, roughly, for 4 or 5 days. Yeah, I wouldn't either. I would not make that bet. But it has done that a lot here, and then here. Yeah, this market's really interesting here. I'm wondering if we are getting close to just like a little local bottom. Like I said, I would not be surprised to see some crazy momentum, maybe on anticipation of passing an ETF. Possibly. I don't really care about the news, actually. It doesn't matter to me. I've said that before. Like, price knows before the news does. All right. So Ripple's still looking the same. This, here you go. Let's go ahead and draw one of these on there because it's, I think, a good idea. So you can come in here. This is how I would set this trade up. I am thinking about getting long Ripple. I am not now, but this is kind of something that I'm thinking about right now. So risking about 8 to 10%, but targeting to this purple at minimum. And if you can't even get that, you know, you're 1-to-1 going to there, which is cool. So like if your weakest target is still 1-to-1, that like lowers risk as well, if that makes sense. But here you go, is about like a target. That also does with all this business that was done up here. So do be aware though that this does look about like the 618. Yeah, it is. Look at that right there. So it might be more conservative to set it up a little tighter, maybe like this. All right, so that gives you like 2.5 to 1, something like that. That would be a more conservative version of it, and it's probably a little bit better fitting because this is that 618 area. So all right, we'll just leave that guy up there. Check it out tomorrow, see what happens. EOS, let's go to it. To the dollar. Oh, EOS is getting some love. There we go. All right, this must be just happening recently. Yeah, it is. Okay, so there's some coins popping since I've been doing this show, so that's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'll definitely be checking out a lot of stuff when I sign off here shortly. Oh wow, that is a big move by EOS. That is one that I am playing. You can see here my alert on the right side. I got set for about 460. I talked about 480 being really good support, but I always talk about how I like to go a little bit extra and go past that because that's where everybody is at, right? Everybody's going to play in that zone. And a lot of times you'll be right in your calls, but then you just will get too giddy or put your stop too tight because you don't want to risk that much. But it's like, hey man, that's part of this game, is doing that. So just set it up appropriately. And that was a pretty good risk reward setup because you were in any kind of like, let's say in this average area, you know, you're not at like 10% brings you all the way down to like 450. So even if you went to 10%, I think easily you could target to the top of this range, which is like $7. There is big volume on this too, guys, right now. Look, this is like just the hour. Let's go out to the 4. And it still has 3 hours left on it, and we're already getting double or triple average volume. So that's a very good sign. Let's see, where are we at right now? About 45 minutes. Okay, cool. Let's go to futures. We were talking about this last night. I'm glad I remembered that. Saying that if they break out on some good movement here, that it would probably be good to get long. They do appear to be doing that. Now, this is the overnight session. A lot of good retail traders do not trade in the overnight session, so do keep in mind in that because you don't really have any of the volume that you will in regular session, which is like US time here for Central Time is, you know, 8:30, pretty much like 7 to 3-ish, because you're in the futures, so they have different hours. Traditional market hours, though, I believe, are 8:30 to 3 o'clock. So here you are. It's looking really nice and bullish. I know everyone's saying we're at all-time highs. It can't go up anymore or whatever. Well, the Nasdaq has been making all-time highs a lot. Just this year, it's done it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5 times. All right. Now they're tiny, but still, it's showing some strength. There is something to be aware on this, though. that you probably could call this a rising wedge, right? It looks like a pretty good rising wedge to me, but it kind of looks like it doesn't even care, and it's going to break out of it. We'll see. I did talk about yesterday maybe being like having a little pullback. Let's look at it on the daily, like into this trend line. But we could just go up a little bit and then have it, right? So if we just go up a tad, make it kind of nice, and then towards the end of the week have a little crash, and we just get back to where we were, and there'll be lots of business done there, right? To maybe get ready to go again. Who knows? Nobody knows price, but you can kind of not predict, but like prepare yourself and have a little bit of edge and just not, right, looking at anything. Or although there's studies I have seen where they like have a cat jump on something or whatever, and whichever one it landed on first, like they just pick those stocks. They have a lot of those funny things and they do better. And you know, it's because they don't have, there's no emotion attached to it. So I guess that's what they're kind of showing is, you know, since you don't have any emotion to your trading. But that's not entirely true though. You just have to learn and then be able to control that emotion. So let's look at the rut and see if it's following. Yep, it is also following. That is the Russell 2000. That's like small caps. Yeah, guys, we're looking pretty bullish. On pullbacks, I'm definitely going to get some long delta in the markets. Let's go to gold, everybody's favorite. Oh, gold's even looking good. Let's actually go to the gold futures contract so we can get some live price action here. Nothing really happening yet today, just kind of moving a few dollars. Let's look at oil. And then we're going to go to final thoughts. Oil is just creeping sideways right here. On the daily, though, it does look like it's kind of getting bullish. Ooh, that's a tough one. Yeah, it is technically. Oh, wow, I don't even have the horizontals all the way on here. Let me add those real quick. Alt-H, you can do that real fast. Yeah, so it's in the neutral zone. Nothing too exciting there. We did have minor divergence here off of these two highs. So nothing too crazy. It is struggling to stay inside this channel though that it's been in since last fall. So that is not the best sign. There's some battling going on there. All right, Bitcoin, the final thoughts. It's the final countdown. All right. Yep. Here we go. Let's get it in. These closes. We had a close at 67.50. Can we do it again? I think so. That'd be nice. But if not, you know, whatever. You can sell off and get you some cheaper coins, I guess you could think. But so, it's like, fuck, it's already so cheap though. Damn. Come on. Already sold off so much. I bought up here. Yeah, my dad bought up here. No, actually up here, I'm sorry. Yeah, oops. Whoops. See, what had happened was I FOMO'd. Alright, so this is looking fairly decent right now since we do have a lot of time left. Let's see what happens. We've had 2 days of price and bodies closing right here, so that's a good sign. Oh, one thing I did want to add to this is volume profile, but not the one on the side, a different volume profile. Let me go ahead and add it now. It's a good one. Oh, I forgot it has its own little section. All right, let's see this one. Yes, so it's called session volume. And you can see it has every day it makes this little box and ranges and has little individual volume profiles. And it looks different when you load it up. I have mine custom with some of the stuff taken out. All the colors are the default, but there's more signals and stuff. But I clean it up to do it like this, and it gives you the day's range is what the barely shaded part is, right? And so let's say you just haven't, let's just actually replay from right here. So you can see, well, let's slow it down. Whoa, let's slow it down a lot. That was like super fast. So as you can see here, as time kind of goes by, it makes these red horizontals. Those are called points of control. So that's where like most of the business was done at that price in that day. So that gives you a little bit better idea and depth of the candle. Like, so if you just look at a daily candle, because that POC is called, they call it POC for short, point of control. So that candle, no matter which way you look at it, it's going to be on there, right? And as you can see, if I look at it, and it's in a daily time frame is how the default's set up, and you can see if I pull this up on a daily candle, you know, a lot of times the point of control is in the middle somewhere. It's not where the open or close was. It was somewhere in the middle. Like, look where this was. It was like a third of the way up, almost halfway. Even in this huge candle right here, it was way down here, the point of control. So that it helps you get a little bit deeper view of price, and I think it's extremely valuable. I know quite a few good traders that use it. I'm trying to use it a lot more too, but you do have to pay for the highest level on TradingView to get it, and I don't think anyone else has this one on trading, like for crypto. There's other ones in equities that have it, but those services are even more. They're usually around 80 to 100 bucks a month to have the volume profile. But guess what? If you get it on here, you can get it on crypto, and you can get it on futures. What? So that's just a cool little thing. Y'all should check it out, play with it a little bit. So right now we're having some 2 points of control they're building right here at about 66.80, and then there's one from the few days ago at 67.20. And when they stack like that, that's obviously means there's lots of business done there. But this is where you can get a little bit more granular in the day. A lot of people use this for scalping and other things too. So it's very useful. Check it out. Anyway, Bitcoin, same shit, different story. Let's see if we can kind of hold this 64-ish, this little zone here, 64, 65. My ultimate crazy, like if we break below 64 on a daily, that's not going to be good. I don't think we are, though. I think we are making it up into this channel, or this trend line resistance. Like we've been talking about literally for a week now, getting up into the mid 7,000s. They've just been playing with people, man. All right, guys. This has been No Noise Research with your host, Z-Rex. And I'm signing off. I hope y'all get some awesome sleep. Get ready for Monday. It's a new week and everybody's favorite day. All right, guys. Take care. And let's talk tomorrow, hopefully, with some good movement on the BTC. All right, good night. Peace.